This is the final day of EuroPCR 2023. With 11,500 plus active participants, this Congress felt livelier than ever, at least to me. Chris, I want to ask you, what are you going to be doing on this last day of the Congress?
Well, look, it's the last day, but there's still so much content out there to be learning from. So I'm going to head first thing in the morning to the emerging indications for tricuspid regurgitation. And this is going to be a case-based session from the ever-productive PCR focus group with the tricuspid focus. And we're going to learn three really important things, I think, in this session. Firstly, we're going to better understand the pathophysiological mechanisms of tricuspid regurgitation. Secondly, we're going to learn where transcatheter approaches can be helpful, but also importantly, where they may not, what the limits are of the therapy. And so really at the end of this, we'll have a good understanding of what patient selection should be to bring forward for these procedures. So it's certainly no longer the forgotten valve. Dejan, how is your morning looking?
Well, look, I'm going to end how I started, in the main arena. So basically, in the main arena, there is a live transmission for Singapore. Professor Tan is doing the procedure and Professor Babado is anchoring it. And it's going to be about the multivessel disease. The reason why I picked this live case is that it basically combines all the knowledge that we've been talking about and the issues we've been discussing throughout the week. It basically will go from perhaps assessing physiology and hemodynamic significance of the lesions up to planning and executing an optimal procedure in patients. So I think this is a nice live case to end the Congress. And if you have time afterwards, I would suggest to go to the simulation lab where a DK crush technique will be dissected into a sequence of steps, and there are many steps to the DK crush procedures that you need to understand, and on the simulator it is really nice to learn. So I would urge you to go to that session after the live case if you have time. Given that it's the last day of the Congress, I would also suggest to you to be there next day on Saturday with us online, because we are going to have been having highlights. I will do coronary highlights with special guests, including EuroPCR course directors. And Chris, what are you going to be telling us about?
Well, I'm going to also be doing highlights on the structural side, and that feeds into my last session that I'm going to be going to today, which is going to be focusing on transcatheter edge-to-edge mitral repair. And this is a learning session. Why do I want to go to that session? Well, you only have to look at the world-class facilitators to understand why. First, we'll have Rebecca Hahn. She really is the eyes into the procedure, and she'll be bringing her expert knowledge, her expert teaching skills, and importantly, her way of communicating with the structural operator as well. And then to add to that, we have Didier Cheche and Sam Dawkins, who will be using their high volume experience to give us tips and tricks that will undoubtedly allow us to go back to our own institutions with added knowledge and skills.
Remember to be there tomorrow online for the summary, highlights, coronary, structural. See you there.